Welcome to the C-Suite Sherpa podcast. I'm your host, Brian Marshall. Our podcast is designed to shine a spotlight on amazing resources that guide the C-Suite. Speaking of great resources, we have a wonderful person here today. Kamila, please tell us about yourself and your business.
Hello. Hope everybody is doing well today. I am Kamila Adamatti. My business is Tone Up Consulting, and we work with leaders on their challenges around change management, leadership, corporate culture, and strategic planning. So my main goal is to help leaders keeping their teams engaged and focused during change environments. So ultimately, after working with us, partnering with us through workshops, through webinars, through one-on-one coaching calls, our hope is to deliver the best structure framework for them to use right away in their business as they will be developing the right skills also to lead teams during change.
So let's dive down a little bit. Thanks for the intro. It's great to have you here. Let's dive into the kinds of clients you work with. First of all, geographically, is there a limitation on who you work with geographically? Are you working in the States or in the Americas? Give us a little sense of that.
Sure. So I am now located in Eastern Tennessee, but there's no limitation. I deliver my services in English, Portuguese, and Spanish.
And size of company that you work with?
Overall, my clients have been 50 million or more. I'm trying to help smaller clients as well and to understand the needs because change management framework can be adjusted to any size of company. Everybody's going through change. And I'm writing a book, hopefully to be launching in Q1 next year. It's about the 6-step framework for change management, where we can adapt to any industry and any size of company.
If there's anything that business owners need to pay attention to today is change. Adaptability and the ability to scale your business is really about managing all the risk in the marketplace. We have to have a change management mindset because the only constant in the world now is that everything's changing all the time. It seems like since 2020, things are changing faster and more deeply in the world, and it impacts business. I want to get your opinion on this. It's almost to the point where the world is changing faster than businesses have the ability to plan. I'm curious if you're seeing that because you get involved with helping them do strategic planning. What are you seeing as a big challenge in the business? Is it that things are changing so quickly we can't keep up? Or give us a sense of what some of the big challenges are that you're seeing in business.
Yes, I see a lot of the changes going faster and faster nowadays. When I talk to my clients, we say, okay, there are changes you can control and changes you cannot control. To those that we can control, let's structure in a way that we can pick and choose. Sometimes you see companies going through 55 key initiatives that they decided to have in a certain period of time, which normally when they start key initiatives can be around 1 year or so. Imagine how people can be overwhelmed with so many changes happening at the same time. And of course, there are the changes you cannot control and how you manage that. But it's also going through this framework that you can use for any kind of change and change your mindset. This is going to be happening more and more, and I need to be redoing. It's almost like a circle where you have this framework. It keeps happening, and you keep going through all the steps again and again. One of the last steps is to revisit what happened, make adjustments, and keep moving. So really, because people are so overwhelmed with so many changes, as you bring more structure to the work, it helps them with more clarity in terms of what am I doing next and how am I guiding my team to go through the change.
Back in the late 80s, early 90s, I was really involved with business process improvement when it was called business reengineering. I had a chance to learn from one of the great thought leaders at that time. He said, Brian, the secret to success is more about what you don't do than what you do. And when you talked about 55 focus goals or key initiatives, that means you're not focused on anything. You're focused on everything. And that's actually the opposite of focus, right? So when you think about that, what are some of the things that business owners are coming to you? They don't come to you and say, hey, I need business process improvement, or I need strategy planning coaching. Let's say we have a business owner watching this interview today. What are the kinds of things that they're going through from a business results or benefits perspective that they're looking to solve, or business problems they're looking to solve? So what are some of the challenges that you're helping businesses overcome?
I'll take examples of few last clients that I had, and I think they can exemplify very well. One of them, they are going through a major restructure in their sales team in North America. They say, hey, can you help us with the communication for the restructuring? I say, of course we can help. But then we started to dig more in terms of, okay, this is all about change management, not just about communication, which is a very important step. By the way, in the whole framework, communication is everywhere. There's always got to be good communication, but it's not just about that. You have to be very intentional on the questions you ask and understand the stakeholders. What is the impact for each group of stakeholders, to really go deeply to make sure that people have good communication, clarity, why the change is happening, why now, what's changing, what's not changing, really be able to intentionally respond key questions that is going through people's mind, and that helps to smooth the process. Of course, there's always going to be some challenge here and there, but the more in advance you plan and the more proactive you are on answering those questions, the less resistance you have, and the smoother will be the process. And that's one example. And if I have time for the second, it's going to be very quickly. They were looking for, the second client is, we need to revisit our logo. The logo is dated. Our competitors have something more refreshed. Can you help us with that? I say, okay, I can help you to find someone to redo the logo, but you need change management here. How we are going to bring people on board? You want the people in your team to love the new logo as well. So they came with the logo situation. I'm helping them referring, but at the same time, I said, how you are going to get the buy-in from the people? Oh, I didn't think about that. Let's do change management. So we started a project with change management as well.
No, that's great. If you boil down all the different companies in the world, all the different industries, it really comes down to, you really need to have a good strategy. So the strategy is going to provide clarity, direction, and alignment. Then you have to manage risk, and then you have to make sure that you're measuring execution against your plan, and then iterate, adapt. And you have to do that constantly, especially in today's world. So it sounds like you're hitting some of the key areas, especially with change management. Well, one last question, and then we'll do something maybe a little lighter. What are some of the big challenges that you see coming that need to be addressed? How are you helping clients address that?
Yes, it is interesting because when I think about how can I imagine the future, I like to step back and say, okay, where I was 5 years ago in a change management perspective, we were managing project by project because changes were more like in buckets, right? So we have this big effort, which still happens. For example, if you're going through a big change of software, it's a big bucket that you have to address. There's the technical part, the process part, and also the change management where you address people's needs. But it's been much more and more constant changes. So it's much more building a culture of change, a change mindset, than just focusing project by project. It's really building the skills for change. And not only the framework. Framework varies, very important. Structure, mindset, focus, but the mindset of keep changing, keep building the resilience in the team, and the leader to be the example for the team and the change, that is so key. And also be open to embrace new technologies. Digital transformation that is here for everybody, how to use these tools in a best way, how to guide your team to use the tools, explain the team why, engage the team, and help them to be there to support. One more thing that is very important, and it's not only for the future, but I think it has to be always, is really the behavior of the leader. The leader is key in anything, and especially when there is a change. How you as a leader, you are behaving and guiding your team. Are you present with your team? Are you having one-on-ones? Are you understanding your team's needs? That's when you're able to address the most effective way the team and understand what's going on, help with the resistance, and keep your team motivated and engaged. Sometimes when there's a lot of change, you see a lot of turnovers, you see a lot of, people losing motivation. The leader needs to be there for the team and be present.
Great points. So let's switch gears. Let's have a little bit of fun, and then we're going to tell people how to get in contact with you, because there are people watching this that are going to want to know how to reach out to you. This is the lightning round. We'll have a little bit of fun with this. I'm going to ask you some quick questions, quick answers. Don't think about it, just whatever comes to mind. So you ready?
Okay. Yes, I am.
All right. Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Cats or dogs?
Dogs. I have 2.
Awesome. If you can only grab one item right before the zombie apocalypse, what would it be?
My family.
A favorite quote or phrase that you think about often?
There is one of my favorite book that I have here. It is from Atomic Habits by James Clear. You can't change your life overnight, but you can change your direction. It's a journey.
That's a good book. Speaking of books, do you have a book that you recommend? Favorite book or book that's really impacted you?
Besides Atomic Habits, which had a big impact on me, I have one here, The Coach Builder by Donald Miller. We're always looking to improve our services, our approach, our products. This has been a great book for me to always think, what can I do better? How can I improve my services to my clients and my community?
Bucket list item that you haven't accomplished yet, something that you really want to do, but you haven't done yet.
I want to visit every single country of the planet.
And last one, biggest obstacle that you've ever had to personally overcome, and one lesson you learned from it.
I started to work very early in my life. I was 13 to help my family. The biggest lesson was to persevere no matter what. When they looked to a girl trying to sell perfumes in a store when she was 13, think about what can I offer to them? I mean, I'm 13, right? They are going to buy from me, and how can I leverage my skills to help people as well? And also never lose faith.
Well, I have a feeling you and I can talk for hours, and still not running out of things to talk about, but we're out of time. So before we go, how can people contact you? What's the best way for them to reach out?
The best way is LinkedIn.
Okay.
I also have my website, which I am changing right now. So literally best way is LinkedIn.
We'll make sure we post it on the description in the video. So if you're watching this video on our YouTube channel, check the description. You'll find all of the about information and how to contact this amazing resource that can help you with your business. Thank you so much for being on the podcast. I love talking to you. I think you have a lot to offer, and it's been great having you as a guest.
Thank you so much for the opportunity. I really appreciate that.